crime law has come into effect in Scotland. The law creates a new offence of stirring up hatred in relation to personal characteristics, including age, disability, religion, and sexual orientation. The Scottish Government says it will protect minority groups from prejudice and from hatred, but critics argue it will undermine freedom of speech, and police fear the legislation could be weaponised for political purposes. Well, let's speak to a leading Scottish barrister, Thomas Ross. What's your take on this? Are you fearful that this could lead to numerous complaints coming into the police, particularly against social media posts, and may lead to people afraid to speak out what they think, to speak their minds, and limit freedom of speech?
Yeah, I mean, I think it could easily lead to multiple complaints because there has been quite a lot of misinformation as to what the Act actually does. I don't think actually there will be very many prosecutions under the Act or very many people convicted under it, but there is a danger that there's been so much disinformation about it that people might use it to make complaints about people that they're having some sort of vendetta with.
Do you think, though, that there is a caveat, I should say, in the bill that talks about there is an ability to a right to offend, to shock or disturb? So does that cover it, do you think?
It's quite difficult to understand the legislation because on the one hand it creates this stirring up offence. I should say that so far as stirring up racial hatred is concerned, we've had that offence in Scotland since the Race Relations Act in 1965, and in the almost 60 years which have followed, I'm unaware of a single prosecution for it in Scotland. So as I say, it's extended it. There are now other protected characteristics beyond race, and it might well be that there may be more complaints in relation to it. But the section you're referring to, which preserves the right to discuss issues, would certainly give any judge who was faced with one of these prosecutions quite a difficult balancing exercise between considering what might be stirring up hatred on the one hand, and somebody else might see that as simply comment in relation to the particular characteristics involved.
So reading between the lines, then, it seems like you're thinking it's a little confusing, this.
It's extremely confusing, and one of the reasons I don't see many prosecutions for it is that it is so confusing, and most of the conduct which presumably is being attacked by this legislation already amounts to an offence in Scotland. You know, we have a variety of other offences which would cover threatening behaviour or abusive behaviour, and I think any prosecutor is likely to bring any prosecution under the easier path rather than something as complicated as this legislation.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there. Good to talk to you. Thomas Ross, Scottish barrister, thank you very much.